I don't know, nervous. You know, you get jitters. I feel good about it. I feel like it's the best album I've done so far, which it should be. Otherwise, I see no reason to keep going. Like, if you don't progress, then, every album has to get better. Otherwise, there's no reason to keep going. So I feel good about it, but I'm also nervous at the same time. I approached it like I approach all my albums. Um, Really, like, I guess each album has been pretty personal, I think, up to date. The Marshall Mathers LP was, touching on issues for that time or whatever. This album, I may have opened up just a little bit more, but, I approached it like a show. Like, that's the whole concept behind the album, is that, nothing I do is behind the curtain anymore. It's like the curtain's up and everything I do is out in the open. Hopefully it's progressed as far as like just updating the same chemistry that we've had that's worked before, which is getting in the studio and just creating something from scratch and seeing how it comes out. I usually make the songs like I usually start the albums and kind of start making songs, and when I get like a few of them, then I'll come to Dre and I'll figure out where I need to go from there, and he'll usually hit me with, the missing pieces to the album as far as beats, and he usually hits me with the straight up hip hop shit from my album. I don't know. I was up. I was up. I was down. Um, each song there was a different emotion I was going through, and some of it was when I was going through my legal troubles and court and all that stuff. Some of it was, you can hear probably the ups and downs of it, the mood swings, you know. Sometimes when I'm making a track, uh, something in the track, an instrument, something will like I'll just hear somebody's voice on it. Somebody that in hip hop that I like and respect, obviously, then I'll ask, can they be on the record? And with that, it was just a case of, I had on the Marshall Mathers LP, Nate Dogg was on it, and I kind of wanted to keep that basic formula, and whoever could be on the new album that was on the Marshall Mathers LP, I was trying to like keep some of the same formula, and I wanted to get Nate on the record. So when I made the track, I was like, I heard his voice on there, so we called him up. And critics don't really bother me. Like, they say stuff about me, and I strike back. It's like tit for tat with them. But like, you know, uh, I guess they get. I feel like sometimes I create jobs. Those people need something. I don't even. Sometimes I don't even think they really mean it. What they say, they just need to sell papers and magazines. So I think that they try to make themselves be the upstanding citizens in saying what I'm doing is wrong, or it's this, it's that, it's bad, it's whatever. So they say things about me, and I just strike back. But honestly, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't fuck my day up or anything. sit and dwell on it and cry about it. They say something about me, I say something back. It's, for me, it's fuel to the fire. Like, you know, it's my fuel. It's what keeps me going. If these people don't say shit about me, then sometimes it leaves me with nothing to talk about. So I'm glad they do. Yeah, I'm always gonna push the envelope as far as it'll go. Um, but ever since I started, I always have been against censorship, and I always have believed that if we have freedom of speech over here, that it shouldn't be limited to anything. We should be able to, everybody should be able to say what's on their mind, you know. Just like somebody can say that what I'm doing is wrong, I should be able to say what they're doing is wrong. Or anything, I should be able to say what's ever on my mind. So, you know, I've always been against censorship. I think it was a positive for both of us. You know, like certain groups that bitched about it at first ended up bitching about it afterwards or whatever. A lot of them shut their mouths after it, but I think for the most part, it shut people up more than kept them going. I, I keep that in perspective all the time, and I realize that you know, probably 90% of the girls that come at me have that intent. Is, you know, they come at me because of who I am, and I keep that in check, and that's why, like, basically that's my song telling them I'm treating, that's how I'm gonna treat you, is as a groupie. If that's how you approach me, you know, I'm very conscientious of that, and and I'm well aware of that fact. That's why, penis, baby through my penis. I'd rather have a baby through my penis than get married again, ever. I'm not anti-tech. I'm not anti-techno. I just hate it. Being in Detroit, I've heard that music all the time. They play it on the radio all the time, and I never liked it ever. And I always wondered like what they made CDs out of, because I wanted to, like, you know, if it, you know, like people, if people waste paper, they say save the trees, like whatever material that is, like save that material. Haley listens to my music. There's certain songs that if there's like a lot of cuss words in a row, like you know, a fuck here and a fuck there and a shit here and a shit there, like those can slip by her. And you know, she's 6, and I remember when I was 6, like music kind of used to fly by to me, and I didn't catch everything, even though I believe that kids are smarter now than we were back then. Um, there's certain songs that if there's like a lot of cuss words in a row, I'll make her a clean version, and she can listen to that in her Walkman, or I'll play that when I'm in the car. But you know, if it's just mild, whatever, you know, she can listen to it. It's fine. Haley listens to. She likes some of that music, you know. But what can I do? I tell her no. You can't listen to it. Pictures of like Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears on a wall. They were mine, and I let her have them. Yeah, what I meant by that song was I felt like quitting, and that's a song that captured that time in my life. There, you know, like I said, there's ups and downs of the album, and that was really a time where I felt like this shit is so much. You know, sometimes I feel like that, and in this business, there's ups and downs, and when you start feeling like that, you got to bring yourself up, and you got to be able to conquer that shit. So that song was like a note of self confidence to me, or whatever. Like, I feel like quitting but don't, you know. Yeah, maybe out of the state, not necessarily out of the country, but out of the state to try to, which I did. I went other places. I went to New York. I went to Los Angeles trying to, you know, promote myself and trying to do things to get a record deal. I can't see myself moving from there. I'm comfortable there and I've lived there all my life and I'm just used to it. I don't like the busyness of New York and LA. I'm kind of laid back. I'm kind of mellow. I'm a father first before anything. I'm a father before I'm a rapper. So, my daughter comes first no matter what. And if there's important things going on in her life that I need to be there for, then I'll drop what I'm doing or we schedule around it or things like that. And a lot of times I take her with me and, she's been on the road with me before. She goes places. She goes to the studio with me. She hangs out. She's 6 now and she's like wide-eyed and she wants to see these things and she wants to go places. So she's like, like my little homie, man. Like she's like my little sidekick sometimes. And it's hard. Like I'm not gonna front. Like sometimes it gets hard to try to balance them out. But like I said before anything, I'm a father. She, I think that it's a little bit of both. She sees me as daddy first, but she also is getting. She's very aware, I think, of what's going on now, and she sees her dad on TV, and she knows that when she goes to school, other kids' daddies ain't on TV, but I'm sure that, and she hears on the radio, sometimes when she's with her mother, they'll be listening to the radio, and I'll come on, and that's my dad, and I think that she's proud of it, and the older she gets, she'll probably be even more proud, to be able to look back one day and say, that's my dad. But at the same time, I'm sure that I'm daddy to her before anything. When I was real young, like I would listen to whatever my mother was playing on the radio, or uh, an uncle, or whoever, a mother's boyfriend, whatever. And from what I remember when I was real young, it was mostly 70s rock, like Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that. And I liked some of it. Like there was a lot of stuff that I liked, and had hip hop not have been invented, I may have went the rock way through music. You never know. But as soon as hip hop came out, it was a music that I could grasp and like identify with immediately, and I just got hooked on it ever since then. Yeah, that was like one of my favorite songs from them of all time, from Aerosmith, and that song like said a lot to me. Like that song I remember when I used to hear it when it came on when I was a kid. There was a feel to it. It made me feel like big or something. I don't know. It made me feel confident. Yeah, like so our music, they say it can uh, alter your mood or whatever. It can make you feel good. It can make you feel happy. It can make you feel sad. Like that song used to make me feel like I can't say happy, sad, like emotional, just big when I listen to it. Uh, that's probably one of the first songs I remember feeling anything through music was that song, and I just remembered it and thought back to it. And I wrote the whole song to the. I wrote my lyrics out of my head to what I remembered how the song went. I didn't have the song or anything. I hadn't even made the beat yet. I wrote the song and then went in and did the beat for it. I wasn't there for like all of it. I was doing, I think I was in the studio, and in the midst of between being in the studio and shooting the video, because I wasn't in the whole thing. Oh, yeah, I was happy with Stan. I think the video was good. I think that there was only so much you could do with it because the song gave you such a visual. If anything, I hope the purpose of the video was to capture what was already in your head. And, you know, hopefully we did that. But I don't know, you know, certain people get a certain vision of a song and how it should be in their head. And I don't know, maybe some people thought it could have been crazier or whatever. There's only so much you can do with a video, though, and make it go along with the storyline and still get your video played on MTV and, you know, BET and things like that. So. For the actual movie, yeah, I was really involved in it. Like I was there from the start of the script and reading it and changing this and changing that, and you know, when Curtis Hanson pretty much took it over, you know, I'm in every scene of the movie. You know, there wasn't a scene they couldn't shoot without me. So, you know, from that to the rehearsing to when we actually filmed, like 6 days a week, 13 to 16 hours a day. You know, I was there for that, and also we had a music trailer on set. So sometimes between takes of the movie, I would go and record songs for the soundtrack, which I've done a couple of songs, and myself, like as far as rapping on them and producing them and stuff. And I also plan to produce a few more for other people that will be on the soundtrack. I don't I don't say too much about it because I'm sure that's a touchy subject and it'd be really weird. Like I've on occasion, you know, if Dre will volunteer something about Tupac, you know, he may make a statement like, if I do something that reminded him of Tupac, he would say something. You know, Pac used to do that. He used to come in the studio and do this or do that. But I never really like brought up the subject because it just seems weird to me. I don't know if that would strike a nerve. So there's certain things that me and Dre don't really talk about, you know, and that is one of them. MC. MC. Not. Wow. Uh, I hate to keep saying MC, but like, I mean that in the highest compliment. You know, when I say MC, I don't consider a lot of rappers in the game MCs, but those people that you just mentioned, MCs. Gangster. I'm looking for a word. It says original. Yeah, original.